Hello, citizens of YouTube. This is the Geeky Nerd here, and today we're going to be talking about shooting subsonics. So, this is going to apply to a very particular special group of people. Those group of people who favor 9 are going to subscribe. Those that favor 45 are going to like and comment. Just how it is. No, just joking, guys. But if you guys do like this video and you like the other stuff that's here on the channel, please do consider liking, commenting, or subscribing. I appreciate it, guys, and I really enjoy having the discussion with you. So let's get to it. Shooting subsonics. They do apply to a special group of people. Those who have went through the ATF jail time, not actual jail time. The waiting for the can, the suppressor time, what have you. While it sits in your local gun shop. And shooting suppressed is really fun, really good. Who doesn't like it? But there's a few things that go into shooting suppressed. The first thing, of course, is your firearm of choice. It has to be able to have a threaded barrel, and I'll get into why that's, between these two items here. Has to have a threaded barrel, has to be the right platform, and it has to have just certain little things. Second thing you have to consider when shooting suppressed is the ammunition. If you don't want the big old bad subsonic crack, you have to buy, it's not subsonic crack, supersonic crack. You buy subsonic ammunition, and not all are created equal, and some are easier to find than others. And the third thing that you're going to want to consider when shooting suppressed is what your general intention, I guess you would say, of shooting suppressed is. If you're going for competitions, if you're going for indoor ranges, if you're going for just general fun, it's really going to kind of vary. But we'll get into using 9mm as a suppressor caliber versus 45 as a suppressor caliber. So let's get into it. As you can see here, 9mm, 45, they're two very different animals. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you know that as well. But they have their little benefits and pros and cons. Let's talk about the 9mm here first. So, the humble old 9mm. Zips along, small round, nothing too crazy. Well, when shooting subsonic, now by the way, both of the, actually, let me rephrase that. Only one of these is subsonic rounds, and if you guys know which already, even though they look exactly the same, then you're like the best person ever. But 9mm, you have to get a certain different grain weights to be able to shoot subsonic. What we have right here, as you can see, is the old 115 grains. They are not subsonic; they are supersonic. This round, it is not pushing a heavy enough projectile to be registered as subsonic and not breaking that sound barrier crack. Now, if you want to shoot subsonic 9mm, you're going to have to buy something that's outside of your 124, 115 grain ammunition. You're going to have to go to your 145s, 150s, those higher up grains, which aren't always available. They're harder to find, and they do generally cost more. Of course, with the whole ammo shortage, everything is costing a lot, but on average, I've noticed them cost between 30 to 40 cents around higher than what your standard ball 115 grain, 124 grain ammunition costs. And that's if you want to shoot subsonic. Now, if you have your gun set up in a particular way and you don't mind the crack, no problem. But if you want ultimate Hollywood quiet, then you're going to want to get subsonic ammunition. And for 9mm, it's probably that is a downside to it. An upside to it is that if you get a 9mm can, then a 9mm cans are generally a bit, how do you put this? I guess you would just say they're a bit easier to find because everyone gets a 45 can, and I'll get into why in a second here. But you could generally find a 9mm can. They will generally be a little bit cheaper. It's really negligible between the two, but if we're going razor thin margins here, they are a bit cheaper. So one thing to consider with the whole 9mm. Now, for shooting subsonics, what do I prefer? 45. Period. End of story. End of game. Done. If you want to see if you want to hear the best ammo, best gun, best whatever to suppress, it's going to be old 45 in my opinion. Why is that? Well, 45, no matter what you get, this is just standard 230 grain ball bar stock ammunition. It's going to be subsonic. Just flat out the gate. It's a bigger, heavier round. It's going a lot slower, so it's never going to really even get up into that range, unless, of course, you get some crazy specialty ammunition. But by and large, anything you buy that is 45 is going to be naturally subsonic. Fantastic. Well, what does that entail? One is that the ammo isn't going to cost any more than what you normally pay. Unlike the 9mm. It's going to be exactly the same. Second benefit for it is that it is a bit of a softer recoiling shooting round. Now, the 9mm is no fire-breathing dragon by any means, but the 45 is generally considered to be a bit less snappy and a bit more tame. It has more of a pushing motion than a like snap-up motion when you're firing. So, one little thing to consider, not so much in the rounds of shooting suppressed, but still one thing to consider with the old 45. Now, one additional good benefit to 45 is if you buy a 45 caliber can. Because you're getting a 45 caliber can, that basically means that depending on, of course, this all depends on the can that you get, but for multi-caliber rated cans, they're going to come in 45. A good example is, even though it's a 46 caliber, is the Silencer Co. Hybrid 46. Awesome, fantastic. If you're going to buy one can to get for the rest of eternity, it's going to be that can. It will shoot anything and everything below a 45 caliber, or below a 46 caliber. Why do they do that? That's just because it allows a little bit of variances between it, because if you get a 45 caliber can with a 45 caliber round going through it precisely at 45 caliber, it's a drinking game, folks. Take a drink every time I say 45 caliber, is that if there's any type of variance between the barrel, the round, and all these different things, the harmonics of the gun, all that fun stuff, then that round is going to have a baffle strike. And when you start going up into like, 450 SOCOM or, those other crazy exotic rounds, they are pushing the edge a bit. So you want a little bit more of a clearance to get that round through without it having any damage. So if you go a 45 route for your suppressor ammunition of choice, and you want to go 45, just you're getting into the suppressor game, then 45 is going to be best, because with a 45 caliber can, or the Hybrid 46, for example, you'll be able to use a 5.56, a 2.23, a 3.08, a 7.62, a 4.50, depending on the can, you'll be able to go like 3.38 Lapua, like big rounds. So you'll be able to have a lot of leeway with that. And if you're only getting one can, good little benefit for it. Now, flip side, you can also shoot a 9mm through a 40 caliber or 45 caliber can. But of course, you're going to negate some of the benefits that you would get. It's a couple decibels, but that makes a big difference to some people, that you would get with a 9mm can versus a 45. So one little plus to the 45 is if you get that and you want to make that your suppressor host and you get a can that is rated for it, then you're going to have a good time being able to do anything and everything under the sun. So yeah, I just wanted to have a quick little discussion with you guys, and hey, just let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, what you guys are shooting, what you think. If you think, hey, 45 went the day of the dodo, I'd rather have, my 9mm with capacity or whatever. And wrap it up here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful, awesome, fantastic day. I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.